Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
One of the UFC's top heavyweight contenders, Blaydes, calls out Stipe Miocic for a #1 contender fight at the UFC's 25th anniversary card in Denver. And it's a respectful call out. He didn't get, go Brock Lesnar on him and say, Stipe's a piece of shit, DC's a piece of shit, I'm the #1 contender, and everybody's a piece of shit. Like, he didn't get disrespectful by any means. He's actually got a lot of respect for the former heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic, and arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time. As a matter of fact, I believe it was 5 years ago, the picture that Blaydes shared with this call out, and he was a part of one of Stipe Miocic's camps, or he was doing a camp over there with Stipe's team, and he actually learned a lot of things from Stipe Miocic back in the day. So now it's like the student has become the master, as Blaydes, was working on his game back then. Now he's one of the best heavyweights in the world. I mean, he's got wins now over Mark Hunt, a pretty dominant decision victory where he was able to use his wrestling and really control Mark Hunt. And then he also had a third round finish over Alistair Overeem, and the TKO got pretty brutal in the third round as he used those elbows to rain down on Alistair Overeem. And that's, you saw where the name Blaydes came from, well, at least the nickname Razor, because those elbows looked like razor blades in that third round against Alistair Overeem. So those are two very impressive wins for Blaydes, and now he's looking to get one step closer to the title shot with the #1 contender fight with Stipe Miocic. We got Daniel Cormier, the current heavyweight champion. He's likely going to be tied up fighting Brock Lesnar, which means he might not even be fighting the heavyweight title defense until January, which is when Brock Lesnar will be cleared by USADA. And as far as he's got the drug testing window, and since he doesn't have an exemption and Brock Lesnar returning to the UFC, he's got to go 6 months of drug testing before he's allowed to fight in the UFC again. And so DC's kind of waiting on him. And in the meantime, in between time, Blaydes is like, hey, if you need an opponent, I'm game. And he's got a specific location in mind as well. This is what Blaydes had to say. Stipe Miocic, I appreciate all you taught me 5 years ago. It was an honor to be a part of your camp. With this current situation, I'm sure we don't want to wait until spring. Are you free 11/10 for the 25th anniversary card? So a respectful call out of the champion, nothing crazy. And he's calling him out for 11/10, the 25th anniversary card, which is actually in Denver. And Blaydes recently has relocated to Denver to train with the Elevation Fight team as he continues to gather more and more skills across the world as he looks to become the best heavyweight of all time, which he definitely has the potential to be. I'm telling you right now, if you're asleep on Blaydes, wake the fuck up. He might not be the most exciting fighter right now or well-rounded or whatever you want to say about him, but I'll tell you this, he's only 27 years old with probably some of the best wrestling in the heavyweight division, and he's also very dangerous with his strikes, as we saw at least his ground and pound is in the Alistair Overeem fight. And at his young age, he's not going to be doing nothing but training with better and better fighters. I mean, 5 years ago, he was fucking training with Stipe. Now he's training with Elevation Fight Team. He's a guy that seems like he's not going to get comfortable. He's going to keep going and going to get better until he eventually becomes the champion or gets that title shot. Either way, I don't see Blaydes being a hype job. I don't see Blaydes having cardio issues coming from his wrestling background. So there's not going to be really a lot of ways to beat Blaydes unless you put him to sleep, which is going to be tough. So Blaydes, bright future in the heavyweight division. He's looking to potentially leapfrog Stipe Miocic's immediate rematch that he does feel like he deserves, as well as a lot of other people, by beating Stipe Miocic before DC fights Lesnar. Now, only thing that could potentially keep Stipe out of this fight, and I actually think we would all be fine with it, is if Stipe said, hey, listen, I just had a brand new baby girl. Normally, I would love to fight you, but I'm going to take some time off. Stipe Miocic was a pretty active heavyweight champion in defending the belt. So he just had a brand new daughter before his Daniel Cormier fight. I'm sure he's going to be looking to spend more time with her, kind of like a paternity leave, spend some time with your fucking newborn baby. I'm sure Stipe Miocic is looking forward to doing that, and if he is looking forward to doing that, I don't think any of us should be too upset at him turning down a fight at the end of this year. I mean, he just lost his belt. He deserves a rematch, and maybe he wants to wait for the rematch on top of spend time with his new baby girl, you know. So that's just two things that that might keep Stipe Miocic out of this fight with Curtis Blaydes, because this is actually a fight that a lot of the biggest stars of the sport would not take. Curtis Blaydes is a very high risk and low reward. Normally you see people turn those fights down. If Stipe turned this fight down, he actually has a reason. But if he accepted this fight, holy shit, that would be a dangerous fight for Stipe. And if he beats Curtis Blaydes, it's not really doing a lot for him except for getting a paycheck. You know, it's not like it's a title fight or anything like that. So we'll see what happens. But Stipe Miocic could be looking to sit out for that immediate rematch, or just to spend some time with his daughter. Either way, I'll keep you updated. But Curtis Blaydes is looking for an opponent for Denver, it looks like, for the UFC's 25th anniversary card. And if not Stipe Miocic, maybe he can still get another top 5 guy. So yeah, with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think about a potential Curtis Blaydes versus Stipe Miocic fight in the comments. And before we go, shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also hit the bell right next to it so you get notified every time I upload a new video, or some of the time that I upload a new video, because YouTube's notification bell is a player hater. But this is one of the hardest working independent MMA channels on YouTube. We provide daily updates, full fight card breakdowns and predictions. We make MMA fighter freestyles, and we've already interviewed pro fighters Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, Felony Charles Bennett, and Bruce Lushmedio in just a little over a year as an MMA channel. We're one of the fastest growing MMA channels on YouTube. So with that being said, if you're interested in more videos like this, check out the Full-Time MMA Dojo over at patreon.com. One of the things you can see while you're over there are some of the goals of the channel, and also more free videos like this, betting advice, and more. We just launched the Full-Time MMA store over on teespring.com, and we've got some limited edition gear in order to celebrate that. We've got some Day One Poop the Other Side shirts that are only available for a limited time. Also, you got leggings, phone cases, Don't Be a Bagel Biter, coffee mugs, and more. With that being said, you can check the links out in the description if you want to check out the Full-Time MMA Dojo or the Full-Time MMA store on Teespring. Respect. Let the Full-Time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da! It's the motherfucking DOJ.